Another day in the can.
Gary, let's talk about your secret passion of composing musicals.
AI, I couldn't say it better
about
myself.
the spirit world.
Yeah, amazing how they just wrote that song.
Yes, so maybe you can tell us something about your spirit team, because as I understand it, you are the medium, but you're not working alone. You have like a team working with you when you do the physical seances.
So I've got two teams working with me that I know of. I've got Abraham, who I've got a personal connection with. So Abraham works with my healing. He's the main healer, the main guide for that. I can hear him, I can talk to him anytime, I feel his presence, his energy. He helps me with all different areas of my spiritual work, not just my healing. But so he's a team that I know of, that I'm aware of. And then I've got the physical team, who is kind of led or... I suppose led by Jimmy. And I was interested with that team. I've never spoken to that team. I've never felt that team. My only awareness of that team is what other people have told me. So, two spirit teams, one that I'm fully aware of and what they're doing, and another team that it's like elves that come into the workshop at night and do the work.
Hello, friends. How are you?
Good.
And the rest is? Good. So I want to start there with the first question. So you have complete free will. However, the choices are made from my side of life. When you have the understanding of why you're picking those experiments and those experiences and what you're going to learn from them. So it is your choice for you to pick it. But you just pick it when you have the awareness of why you're picking it. Now, because the human mind thinks in a linear process, you think of it that you create your life in my side of life, then you live your life in the physical sphere. But time for us is very different. It's more concurrent. So indeed, they're happening at the same time, but the decision is made from the spirit side of life.
Indeed, I have lived many lives and many forms. What I present you now is simply one personality from one lifetime. From where I reside, I am aware of the multitude of lives and personalities and perspectives of which I have lived. I simply bring forward this personality so that it may be recognized to your side of life.
So Abraham is not a part of the physical team.
No. So Abraham is not a huge fan of physical mediumship. He accepts it, but it's not his bag. It's not his thing. He's more into healing. He will do it, and he sees the purpose of it, but it's not his main forte. So yeah, very separate teams. And I do believe in spirit that kind of every phenomena, every ability will have its own team of spirits that will specialize with that. So with Abraham in particular, with him it's healing.
And when you do the physical seances, so you are not aware of what is happening?
No. So my last memories before a seance will often be doing the pre-seance talk. Sometimes I'll have a slight memory of being in the room or being tied up. And then my next memory after the seance is probably talking to people afterwards, but even that is very... I know it's happened, but I couldn't really pull out details. But if someone was to remind me of something that I spoke about with someone after a seance, it may bring back a memory. But otherwise, I know it happened, I know I was there, but it's very cloudy.
And you also have no idea what happened in between?
During the seance, no. As far as I'm consciously aware, no. So I say that because they used to do a phenomenon in the past, apparently, where they would wake me up during the seance and I'd be talking while phenomena happened. But I have no memory of that ever happening. So the way I rule out is, as far as I know, I could be fully aware throughout the seance and just not remember it afterwards. But so to the best of my knowledge, no, I have no idea what happens during a seance.
Are you then like in a sleeping state?
It's a bit like a daydream. So I know time has passed. I don't know what's happened in that time in regards to the seance, but then the before and after is a bit like you you wake up in the morning and you remember having a really good or a really bad dream, but you can't remember the details of the dream.
Okay.
It's very similar to that.
And do you have different emotions?
In what way?
For example, that sometimes you wake up and you feel really good, and sometimes you wake up and you're really, oh, that was a bad dream, or...
Used to. So I used to wake up and be worried. Were people happy? Did people get what they wanted? Did it go okay? Was it long enough? Nowadays, not so much. It's more kind of just tired and exhaustion. Now I'm a lot more part of the process. That kind of, I've given the time. What spirit choose to do in that time is up to them. If it doesn't go to plan, that's on them. So yes, I'm a lot better now than I used to be.
Okay.
He's showing the sense of
Can you see the medium's legs there? Sing
Ah,
along.
yeah, show us the feet, please.
He was showing us
Oh, good job.
Let's go, yeah.
They're tied up.
Excellent.
Are you a good dancer, I must say? Woo!
Oh.
No? Okay.
It's not a waltz.
I think pretty good.
We're going to do a
And the
spin
Swedish thing, please.
Is it
Yeah, we
not
love
the
that.
water? And you know what? It's like hitting the wall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want us? Oh no!
And do we need to move the?
They move it themselves. They're very clever, but that takes extra energy.
I love it.
That's a problem. Okay.
Okay.
We still should sing. We still
Oh.
there's the back. There's the front.
Eddie, I believe this morning we're going to attempt something we've already tried with the lighting with your camera. And then our next session, if possible, we're going to try and attempt something new for you.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Oh, is the hand set
Oh,
that's
yeah, both hands.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's great.
That's so funny.
Cut your light, cut your camera, and then we'll return the mediums to you.
And how did all this start? I mean, how did you become a physical medium?
Strict.
Because you cannot go to a school and say, I want to learn to be a physical medium. Or how?
I think everyone's got potential. So I had done mental mediumship. From mental mediumship, I'd fallen into the psychic surgery. Around the same time, I was working with the London Paranormal Society. So we got to do supposed haunted locations around London. And at these locations, I would get to do table tipping with the groups. And I would find that I'd get really good results with the table. So that was kind of my introduction to physical mediumship. Around the same time, I got to meet with other physical mediums, got to see them work. Became good friends with one of them, who kept telling me that he thought I would be a good physical medium, that I should sit for it. But I kept putting it off. And then one day he did a workshop in my house. So the room was already blacked out. So I thought, well, we'll give it a go. And I had phenomena first time that I sat. So I continued to sit for physical.
Okay, so you were motivated then.
Yeah, because we were getting results. So I thought, okay, this is something different. I'll go with it. And then, yeah, kind of blossomed over the years.
Even before you got a healer or did the psychic surgery, I mean, there must be a point where you were interested in it or did first contact with the spirit world or something like that.
So I've done mental mediumship since I was young. I part on platforms since I was 13. So I was always kind of, for as long as I can really remember, being involved with mediumship. And then I fell into the healing. I never had an interest in healing. It's something I fell into. I used to think healing was boring. Never wanted to be a healer, but then when I started doing the healing, I fell in love with the healing. I stopped loving mental mediumship. Same with the physical. Yes, I was getting results on table tipping, but back then I never really associated table tipping with physical mediumship. I didn't know enough about it. It was a completely foreign subject to me. It's only because I became good friends with this physical medium that I got to sit in his home circle, I got to see the phenomena firsthand, but still never associated it with me. By then I thought, healing's my bag, my thing. I don't really have an interest in being a physical medium. I much preferred observing. So it's definitely something I fell into.
And to start with a mental mediumship, do you have anything you remember? What was like your first?
My first memory of mental mediumship. So my dad used to go along to spiritualist churches. So he used to go to the local spiritualist church. When I was 13, he took me along one night with him. I was sitting down the front, saw the medium tune in, and all of a sudden I heard a voice in my head going, "You can do that." So being 13, hearing voices in my head, I gave it a go. Thankfully, the church was quite supportive. So even though I was 13 and the SNU in the UK doesn't allow you to do readings to your 18, the church would allow me to do readings for the members after the services. So I get to practice and develop.
And your parents also supported this?
They knew I had an interest in it. So my dad stopped going to the church. I continued to go. And I always kind of did my own thing. So they knew I went to the church, they knew I had interest, but they never knew kind of what I was up to or what was going on.
Have they ever been to a physical seance?
Yes, yeah. So my mother definitely has been very supportive. She doesn't really understand it, but she's come along to shows in London and seen me work. She's met people that had results. She's sat in seances. She's received healing and had results. So she fully supports it, but she doesn't really understand it.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
And do you really understand it? So really what happens or what?
No, I definitely have a better understanding. If I go by what Abraham and Jimmy say, I like their reasoning, I like their belief, and I try and take it where possible from a kind of scientific point of view. I think people take spiritual stuff too much airy-fairy, whereas actually there should be a logical explanation for everything that does happen and why things happen, even if we're working with things that are esoterical or beyond our understanding. There should still be that link. And I think where people make it too mystical and religious, it just doesn't make sense. And so I think that's where I'm a lot better understood how it all works, but yeah, probably still those I don't know.
Yeah, and I know you are very open for testing. We have been testing you a lot already.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested, even for myself, just to find out how it works. And if it can work with me, can we do it with others? And if it can work with me, what are the limitations? What's the possibilities? And again, can we replicate that with others so that I can then experience it myself through others? And yeah, I've got nothing to hide, so why not? As long as it doesn't harm me or kill me, then why not allow it to be documented and try and work out how it works?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, can you see it? Yes. Oh, I know. It is like the face. Now, behind it, it looks to me. Oh, hello. Hello. It looks to me like it's like mine, it's behind. Oh, yes. Can you see? Yes. Oh, my God. Excellent. You can see it now. Yeah, that's well done. It's like that. That's what I thought. Oh, baby, I'm going to save my life.
Do you yourself have any ideas how it really works, this contact, or how they can influence the physical?
Some things I have ideas about, probably from what they've explained or what they've said. I mean, especially with Abraham, when I'm doing the healing with him, sometimes I'll have conversations with him about it, and sometimes he'll tell me hardly anything, other times he'll go really in depth. But no, I don't fully understand the full process and all the science and all the maths behind it. But I think I have an idea of the logical process of what's happened, and it's probably more simple than a lot of the explanations that people give.
Anything you want to share with us about it? What might be interesting?
So, I think anyone can do it. I do believe that if I can do it, anyone can do it, and that we are spirit first and foremost. And that for a lot of us, we just make it a lot more difficult than it has to be. So the only thing that makes me different from somebody who's not getting phenomena is me and my team have worked out how it works with me, or what's the best way to do it with me. But if we could work out that same process with someone else, I don't see why they wouldn't get phenomena. It's just everyone goes for this approach of one size fits all, and it's really not the case. And I think that's what stops a lot of people from developing.
Camera wouldn't pick up if they take like
Oh.
yeah, that's the way. That's the way. Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Nearly.
Yay! Wow. That's cool. Wow.
I have also been to a workshop of you, and I think you're a really good teacher. So that's also something you like doing, to help others to.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm of the belief that we never stop learning. So I learn a lot in workshops. Abraham helps me a lot, and what he'll teach me for other students helps me with my own development as well, helps me see mistakes that I might make with my own development. Because, I've seen trance recordings myself. I see nights where my mind does interfere. I see where it's not perfect sometimes. We've had, 3 or 4 days of sitting, and we've had no results. There's going to be a reason for that. So it's not a perfect science. So the more I teach, the more I learn, I think.
Like today, now we have 4 days here, and is that kind of a pressure also, or is it? Are you more relaxed, or let's see how it works?
It used to be. It used to be a pressure. I used to worry a lot that what if anything happens? People have come all this way. It also used to take a big toll on my body as well. Like I'd be feeling terrible, like if nothing happened, but at the same time I'd be feeling rubbish in my body all week. Now, similar to the seance, I definitely want something to happen, and I appreciate everyone's come a long way. But I'm also more surrendered to the fact that all I can do is try and make myself the best situation to produce results for them, or for them to produce results through me. But if nothing happens, there's a reason why nothing's happening. And hopefully we can overcome that in the time we have left.
It was always this aspect of it's not controllable. There's always something we on our side we cannot control.
Yeah, I think in our understanding it's not currently an exact science, and only because there's so many parameters to it that we still don't understand from a scientific point of view that we can't correct for. So we could do everything right physically, but I don't know if Pluto's in the wrong place and that affects the energy, then we don't know how to deal with that or even identify that as a problem. But as we develop, we'll know that could be a factor. And then, looking at physical mediumship now, things that we would have said were impossible 40 years ago are now happening with physical mediumship, like Zoom. People are doing it over the internet, which we would have thought was possible. So spirit learning to adapt. But yeah, there's still so much we don't understand about it. So I think it is an exact science, but it seems like it's not an exact science because we just don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
Come a little bit closer. The legs are still there, we just had a bit of fun with them. You come a bit closer, so we've twisted the legs around, put them through the legs of the chair. I believe the phrase is break a leg.
I
see the cable.
I see
Did you me? Yes.
See guys, look, they're still completely
And there is no
you feel it,
nothing.
Lucius?
Yeah, I see clearly.
Now I would advise you, please don't try this at home.
It looks very, very,
Die
very
Füße sind zwischen.
And if you're ready, we'll get you to close the camera again.
1 second.
Take your video photos or
Whatever.
Play
We'll see, Jimmy, how that works out because the back.
Okay,
They're
legs
back.
back.
And now,
Yeah, you can touch it.
yeah, he won't bite you.
They
The
are.
medium
Yes.
you can speak while there is light.
Yes. Yes.
If you could meet a physical medium of the past, is there anyone you would really like to meet and talk with, if it would be possible?
That's a good question. Probably Leslie Flint. I'd love to go into one of his seances and see the phenomena, both from when it was coming through him and when it was independent, to see the difference as well. I think that would be really interesting, and to get it from his point of view as well. how he experienced it, how he finds it. Yeah, any of the parts really, but I suppose if I had to pick one, I'd pick Leslie Flint. No, or Colin Fry. Doctor. I've sat with Colin Fry as well.
And something special you would like to talk with him?
Just to get his experience. So I knew Colin when he was alive, but as a mental medium. So I've spoken to him about his encounters being a mental medium, but never as a physical medium.
Okay.
So that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard he had some amazing phenomena, so I would have loved to sat for that too.
And how is the contact with the current physical mediums? I mean, to my knowledge, there are not so many, but are you talking to each other about how you experience things, or or are you not at all in contact? How is it?
Of the ones demonstrating publicly, it's not. No, there's no social group. We don't have a WhatsApp group or anything like that. We're not really in contact much. Everyone's kind of out on their own on the public scene.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to home circles, then yeah, I hear a lot from home circles that are in development or are having issues in their circle, or they're getting phenomena happening. So there are a lot of circles around, but yeah, physical mediumship from a public point of view, it's kind of dying out really. A lot of the physical mediums are getting to a stage where they're not demonstrating anymore, or dying or retiring, or their health's not great, which is affecting their phenomena. So I've said for a few years that I do think physical mediumship isn't going to stay in the public as it is currently, and we'll go back more to home circles and development, which is good, and that definitely seems to be happening.
And then let's bring it. Come to the yeah. Okay, the other arm is very still too. Yes, I can see it from here.
And light off the camera.
But you think physical mediumship will still be of importance, let's say, in 20 years?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping it's more of the same mindset. Because if you took all the public physical mediums at the moment, we probably all have a completely different idea of how it works. Which is also completely correct. But yeah, we've all got different ways of doing it. So someone could do a workshop with 3 different physical mediums and come up with 3 different ways of doing it. And then our guides are saying different things. We're probably saying the same thing, just different interpretations of the same thing. So I'm definitely hoping that physical mediumship going forward, we start to get some more of the same criteria or the same information coming through. Which again, you do get when you come away from the kind of public eye. And even in the past where experiments have been done, like the cross correspondence tests and things like that, they were all done in home circles, and it was the same information coming through.
And do you think physical mediumship plays a role in this shift in consciousness we have now? Or at least a lot of spiritual teachers say we are in a process of a shift in consciousness?
I think we're definitely changing. We're definitely, again, from a scientific point of view, we're definitely becoming more aware of energy, what energy is, and bigger than that, consciousness. You know, it's the one thing in science we still can't say what it is. We know how it works and how it processes through the body and the brain, but we can't actually say what it is. So we are getting closer to things like that. As physical mediumship expands, I don't just think we'll explore more with the spirit world. I think we'll even explore more with extraterrestrial worlds or intelligences that are beyond the limitations of the physical mind. And then you never know, maybe our physical forms won't be how they currently are. Just with how different we are from the animal kingdom, I would assume that intelligence is not of our world. We'd be like a cat or a dog compared to their intelligence.
What might be the interest of your spirit team to do this work?
So I know with my team, they are about education. So part of the education, and I know they've said before, is if what they do with me, they only do with me, they're wasting their time. They need to be able to do things that can be repeated with other circles, and that they can get as many circles as they can going. And then those other circles can decide if they're going to work with mediumship, if they're going to work on science, if they're going to work with seeing how many spoons they can bend. But I know my team is about getting that started. So showing people what's capable, what could be done. And that aligns with my belief as well. I'm very into that. I'm not someone that I believe in spirit and I like physical mediumship, but for me, I've seen a trumpet flying around the room. I don't need to see that again. Whereas for some people, they love all that, and I appreciate it, but I don't need to see it. Whereas if I could go to a seance where instead of seeing a trumpet flying around, I'm going to learn all about the process of how that trumpet flies around, that would be a lot more interesting for me.
Okay. Yeah.
It's running.
And it's circular. Only three knocks. Open the cabinet, 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
If you would, please.
Yeah. I better get up already.
Yeah,
So I'm already.
Hopefully the ectoplasm is bright enough. What's it? No.
No, it's on the left.
Is it on the right hand side, some white?
One of it. No. It's in front. It's very faint though.
10,011, so not so faint. 12,000.
No, from here.
Yeah, I can't really see.
Yeah.
We're just hoping for the absolute.
Of course. The plan. Where is it now? In the middle?
Yeah.
It would be.
Okay, it changed again.
Yeah, look, it's.
Now weiter. It looks weiter now.
And it's like it's over his knees.
It's on his lap.
Yes, on
Yeah.
his lap here. Interesting. Hopefully it's bright enough.
Oh, I hope we catch it.
Yeah, I did.
And more for you personally, you also have a normal job. That's you're not only relying on physical mediumship.
I try to.
And so for you, your personal life, what importance or what meaning does the contact with the spirit world have for you?
I suppose there's different sides from it. So, on the one hand, working with spirit to me is no different than working in a hairdresser's. It's as normal a job to me as that, and it's part of my life. So I get very bored very quickly. So I like to keep my mind entertained, and that's taking on different projects. So I've always had the spiritual stuff, and I still love the spiritual stuff, but by having normal jobs and doing normal things at time, it stops me getting bored of doing the spiritual stuff. And it keeps it exciting. You know, I love doing clients, but if all I did every day was see clients, I would go out of my mind with boredom. And I think that would really affect my development as well. My mind would totally block it because it wouldn't want to be there because it's doing it every day. So, you know, I've taken the last couple of months off because I've been busy with another project. So then coming back last week to teach, it was fun. Whereas before I would have probably been bored in my mind thinking, I've got to another workshop. So yes, on that regard, I think it's good. I think it's also good in the sense that by having a normal life, when I hand over to the spiritual stuff, it is like being another person. So even now, if I hear about my seances, it feels like we're talking about somebody else, or we're talking about the Leslie Flints of the past, because I'm as attached to it as if you're talking about a different physical medium, because I really have no awareness of what's happened during that seance. So regardless if it's my seance or someone else's seance, it makes no difference to me. I'm just as much there. So I think by being able to have a normal life where I can, it helps keep my mind out of it. Another benefit I've got is physical mediums earn well, which is fair enough. I call it danger money. So they can earn well. But at the same time, the luckiest bit I have with my physical mediumship is I'm not reliant on it. You know, if Spirit packed up tomorrow and said, right, you're done, then fine, I've got a normal job I can fall back onto. Whereas if I had just the physical mediumship, you know, in my public seances, I've had blank sittings. But if that was my only living, I couldn't afford to have blank sittings. So I don't know what would happen then if I was in that situation. Thankfully, that's never had to be a risk for me. So yes, I do think that it should be normal for us. It should just be a part of our life. It shouldn't be a separate thing. But at the same time, it works well for being a separate thing for me.
And your friends, do most of them know what you're doing?
Yeah, I've never hidden what I do. And people have a way of finding out what I do anyway, regardless if I tell them or not. You know, so even my pub, everyone knows what I do. I just keep that life separate, so I don't talk about it. They know what I do, but I don't talk about it. If they bring it up, I quickly go off the subject because that's my downtime as well. I don't want it all to become about spirit. And for me, as much as I love working with spirit, I'm not that interested in. I said, I love the process of how a trumpet works, but I have no interest in seeing a trumpet fly around the room. So I would get bored sitting in seances again and again. But I love working with spirit. So it's a weird situation. So as much as I'd like to be involved with it, I also like to have nothing to do with it as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. But then doing experiments should be something you like doing because it's doing something different. Also, your team is developing new phenomena and trying to interact with cameras in a room and so on.
Yeah, that I find very interesting and would love to go do more of that. I would love to do research and education. That would be ideal.
It's almost impossible to do that manually because you would have to move the chair.
One too many drinks.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my God! And
oh, wonderful! Yes.
So when you're ready, Mr. Oakley, we'll get you to open the cabinet.
What's that?
Yes.
Yeah, the black tape is still on it. And it is intact.
Whenever you're ready, you may close the curtain.
I think he should do more yoga.
Be better at yoga because look what this
he's
medium
back.
can do.
He's back.
Where is he?
He's back.
Oh!
But the hand is.
Can I turn that light a little bit more
You
towards
may,
you?
yes. Now, we've left the left arm out of the cable tie. At the end, we're going to let you explore for yourself how the cable tie actually is.
Okay, now, what I want to try...
First, let's see the cable tie. Oh, it's tight. No.
Take your
Yeah,
hand
try,
and
Gary.
try to put it through there. Now that finger as well. Oh, sorry.
Don't hurt him. Okay, that's convincing. I think. Very nice. You have grown your hands in the meantime.
Tight, totally tight.
I can get up to my knuckles. Well, apart from on the thumb.
Yeah, tight as before.
But you need to take the thumb with you see, when you do it. Sorry. They're a little bit too tight, actually.
Motion sensor still in place. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Yes, and also you're a good mentor.
I try. The problem is just time. It's finding the time to be able to do it and give quality. And again, because every circle is different, it's not that I can just give everyone the same package and say, here you go, that should sort you. And they all need individual guidance, which takes up a lot of time, which if I could do research full time, then that would give me time. But while I am doing public and showing people what's possible, rather than doing just the development, it does take a lot of time. But I'm sure they have a plan and I'll go with it.
How does that make you feel when you have to get undressed and all this, like how does that go for you? How comfortable is that for you or how uncomfortable?
Again, I'm better than I was. I definitely had a period of a couple of years where I would worry about it. I would worry about why you sit if you doubt me. I feel like I'd have to prove myself. Now it's not that I don't care. Now it's more, this is spirit's time. So I used to get in trouble because a couple of years ago I used to call myself a spiritual rent boy. Because what I was meaning by that is I hire myself to spirit, I charge a fee, and they get that time. But it's kind of true. It's, when I'm in a seance, that's not my time. That's spirit's time. I'm just the channel for them to do that. I'm like they've hired the car for an hour and they're going to do what they want with it. And that's the best way I need to be. At the same time, I need to make sure that I'm in the best possible state for them to do what they can do. But then I have to get out of the way and let them do it. So nowadays I'm a lot more disconnected from the process, which helps a lot. the whole getting searched and stuff, sometimes it can be a little bit embarrassing, depending if I've been to the gym that week or not. And who's searching me, but I get it. What I don't like is when I've gone through all of that, and I've bent over backwards to keep everyone happy, and then someone complains afterwards, and yet they've had every opportunity. That annoys me, because then from my point of view, I've literally done everything that I can do, and you're still attacking me. And then my mindset is kind of, well, why am I bothering to do it in the first place? If you're going to attack me regardless, why put myself through it?
Okay. So have they put it onto the skin?
Yes.
It's wobbly, isn't it, when you try to put it out? Okay, Jimmy, light off, yeah?
Whenever you're ready.
Oh, what's it? Oh no.
Please check the cable ties as well, make sure they're all still secure.
Wow, tight, really tight.
Hands as well, they're still there.
The left leg into the right. And look at the hand. One hand underneath, tight underneath. Oh my goodness. Poor baby.
And pass through the wood.
That looks really uncomfortable, right?
Well, you can't feel it at the moment.
You know what, like David Thompson talks about this little girl, you know, he says just that makes it worthwhile for me to do this and put myself through this.
Or the physical mediumship.
Yeah, in your case, so like it is embarrassing at times, and that whole searching and then the attacks and all that. Why do you still do it?
I don't think I do it for humans' benefit. I think I do it for spirit's benefit. So, more like I feel like I'm doing a favour for Abraham. I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I sit for seances, I'm doing it more for Abraham and spirit's benefit than the sitters. And my mindset is kind of, I don't care if the sitters now have got the result they're looking for. I've sat because spirit wanted me to sit, and spirit have done what they need to do. And that's a much better mindset to be at. I think that's why I do it. And I mean, if I went back to spirit now and they said, what do you think about humankind? I'd say, send another arc. And when I'm done with this side of life, I'm not coming back. But from a spirit's point of view, I'm more on their side. So if they need me to sit as a physical medium, then, and that's the best I can do for them, fine. If they turn around tomorrow and go, well, actually, you'd be better off as a healer now, then I'd be fine with that. I'd say, yeah, I've lost the ability, or they've taken it away, they want me to do healing, so that's what we're going to do. And like, you know, when I started, I thought mental mediumship was it for me. I loved mental mediumship, had no interest in healing, had no interest in physical. Then I started doing the healing, fell in love with the healing, hate mental mediumship. And then the same with physical. I still find it amazing. I love seeing the results, but I'm more interested in the scientific point of view.
Can you see anything? Or turning it up? Anything you can? Can you see now? Anyone? No.
Yeah, at the mouth. Okay.
You know, the glasses don't help. Can you
Oh,
see?
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
I will aid and help in any way that I can with any individual on your side of life.
Okay.
Anyone may call on me, and if I can assist, I will do so. But be aware, you may have your own guides, helpers, entities who understand your energy much better than I can.
Okay.
And can work a lot more effectively.
I think it's just pulled up.
But yeah, so I think I do it more for spirits. I said, I get paid for it. There is always that benefit, which is nice. But I think the overall why I do it, especially when I feel rough, and I think I could be earning more money doing something that's less dangerous, then I think it's for spirit's benefit I do it. Or for mankind as a whole, not mankind as it is at the moment.
So it's really a commitment of your life to spirit.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. I don't really see it as a commitment though.
What would you say it is?
I don't know, more of a hobby or a favour. For me, it's just something I do.
So do you, for example, do you think Abraham is on a special level? He's like a friend?
Yeah. I mean, if I decided that I'm going to do normal jobs from tomorrow and never do healing again, I don't think he'd ever have a go at me or bug me about it. But then I know that if I gave up healing, I'd see someone that's suffering, and I'd instinctively want to do healing, or I'd instinctively want Abraham to help them. Same if I went long enough without doing a seance, I'd get interested. Like, oh, I wonder what they could do if we sat. Do you think they'd materialize? So I do have an interest in that regards, and that draws me back to it. But at the same time, I don't. Especially looking at the spiritual movement at the moment, I want nothing to do with the spiritual movement. So even other physical mediums, I'm kind of at a stance now. There's so much rubbish out there now, and so much people stabbing each other in the back and trying to be better than each other, that I just think leave the spiritual world to it. Like, leave people to it. All I'm going to do is do what my team want to do, and hopefully someone in the future will look back and go, let's follow this. This really helped us, and now physical mediumship is fantastic, and it's because we went with this, and we just. So yeah, I don't think I'm doing it for humankind at all. Well, especially not at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
I do not judge mankind. I may sound harsh, but I am not. Everything that has been experienced within your world is a lesson to learn. A lesson that is a civilization you have chosen to go through. If I did not believe in mankind, I would not be wasting my time working with your side. I see great potential with mankind. Yet when I look upon their deeds, I deem them to be barbaric in many stances, just as it was when I walked your planet. We have not yet reached the stage of understanding that all life is equal upon your
On
planet.
the left side and on the right side, the jumper is only in one cable tie, on the arm cable.
Let's see if we can take the experiment a little bit further.
Okay.
So if you get your still camera ready there.
Yes.
Mr. Clear, we'll get you to...
Hold that up. They're pushing the chair forward.
Yeah, I can see the hand. No, medium's hand. But it wasn't visible. Interesting.
You want to come out? You want to come out?
Gary, do you think that maybe there is a connection between you and your spirit team that is not only for this life? Maybe you knew each other before you incarnated, or you will work together when you go to the spirit world, or...
So there's different theories. If we take Abraham, there's different theories. So on the one hand, Abraham, he is part of my higher self. He's an entity I've known for God knows how long. We're like best buddies, and that's why we work well together. He understands my energy because we've known each other so well, or we're part of the same soul group. So that's one theory. Another theory is maybe Abraham is me. Maybe he's another personality or another aspect of me, and all I'm doing is I'm just tuning into that higher self. Maybe if we look at something like the super ESP theory, maybe he is just higher consciousness, and the way that my brain understands that higher consciousness is to create this personality called Abraham. I'm open to all possibilities, really. I think it's more likely he's a spirit that I've known for a very long time. And yeah, I think hopefully he's there when I can pass over. Hopefully he can pull some strings. Get me into the club, yeah. So who's not been with a seance with me before? Seance is an experiment. You can't be giving guarantees what will or won't happen. Anyone afraid of the dark? Nope. If you realise during the seance you are afraid of the dark, just close your eyes. Anyone who is or may be pregnant? Good. Anyone on any unnecessary drugs? no one's done anything that make a trumpet move before the seance starts. Or nobody hears voices that aren't spirit. If so, please let us know. Even if the voices tell you not to. So we'll give each other kind of a pat down just before we go in the room. Just means that we don't accidentally bring things into the room.
Like me.
Like my jewelry. You can come in with very little. You can come in with clothes or not covered in metal. Leave everything else outside. Mainly because metal, if it's on a near person, can create static, which can harm the energy. If you have got this jewelry that can't come off, we need to put a little bit of tape on it, so they're creating a static charge. No tissues, no sweets, for a couple of reasons. One, if phenomena happens, we want you sitting very still. So if you've got tissues, you've got sweets, you're going to be encouraged to use them. Secondly, we want to know what's in the room at all times. So we just don't let people bring things in.
Oh, ich ein wenig beobachten.
Ja, ja, also wir sollen schon da reinkommen.
Ich glaube, das muss ja niemand.
Yeah, so you good with that?
Da und da. So, einer sitzt hier, der ist da. Dann sitzt sie hier.
Hi Mo.
Mo?
Yeah, are you good with that?
That's good, yeah.
I got it. We sind in his pocket. Okay. We're waiting on it. Is that right with the chairs now? Yes. Now, die Ecke mit Ihnen muss mit der Hans verstehen.
Anyone want a picture of the medium? I need 10 euros. Until we speak again, remember the log inside, you take it with you. Please talk among yourselves to the medium return to you.
La fête.
Don't be a physical medium. Get out now. Oh, jeez.
Amazing.
I think they put it.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Wow, exactly. I like that. Amazing. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, very hard.
And then they were inside.
And then they were inside.
Wow.
Absolutely crazy. But you see nothing, right?
Yes, we do. It's a little bit round. You do. Turn around. Turn around. Good light. You've got red there. Yes. You've got quite a red circle. Like it's a map, like a little map.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it was so solid.
And was so emotional.
Yeah.
When we were crying, and I immediately
I was
knew
crying.
it was my father because the hand was so strong. Like I think of my father, and was big and strong and touching my hand like when he was alive. So I'm sure it was him.
Oh.
Look.
Right, this one is the best one actually.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's incredible.
And did it will change at the end? Huh?
Ja, ich mache gerade zurück, weil ich von hinten angefangen habe.
Also ich hab heute sind da auch mal ein bisschen den Mund aufgemacht.
Ja, das kommt am Ende. Ich mache nochmal hin. Ja, der hat mir die Zunge auch so gezeigt. Da, ne, man sieht die Zunge.
Hat die Zunge raus?
Dann mit dem Schwert und hat größere Ohren. Huh?
Ja.
Is it like that? The ears?
Yeah, that big like an old man says, you know, they're really big.
Yeah, and
Ja.
the shape change.
Ah, ist schon gut, oder?
Ja, ja, sehr gut.
Yeah, you mentioned it before that this job as a physical medium can also be dangerous and could maybe also affect your health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it definitely takes a toll on my health. The more I've been doing it, the more I feel the effects. The more tired it leaves me, the more worn out it leaves me. After my last stint, I got real. I developed an ulcer, a hernia, lots of burning through my esophagus, which is called narrowing in my esophagus. But then in doing seances in 3 months, it healed up. But it got really bad, so if I hadn't taken that break, it could have potentially got even worse. So yeah, it definitely makes an impact on my health, which I'm trying to find a balance with as well.
So do you get help from Abraham concerning your health?
Yes, when I remember to ask. I'm not the best at asking. And again, it's not because I don't trust him or don't think I deserve it. I just literally don't think about asking.
You forget. Or your health is not so important to you, or?
Yeah, it is, but I do forget. Again, I'm a lot better than I was. So I'll try and do a lot of self-healing when I go to bed at night if I remember to do it. That's normally the time now I set aside that I'll let Abraham to work on me, or I'll ask him to work on me when I remember to do it. But at the same time as well, there are natural side effects that he can try and help me with, but he's at times got to let me go through as well, as part of my own learning.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't help myself. If he says, drink plenty of water and you'll be fine in 2 days, I will probably have wine, cheese, and then I can't blame him for not feeling better.
Okay.
Perfect. Hansi! Perfect.
Lucky.
Arms or legs?
Legs.
So?
Ja, geh mal zu ihm, näher zu ihm, ja. Okay. Vorletzte Nacht hab ich besser geschlafen.
Is it too tight?
No, it could have been tighter.
Could have been tighter?
That's okay.
Yeah, then let's do it tighter.
There we are. Inge opens the cabinet. Aha!
What is that?
That comes from your belly.
Nice quality.
Big crunch.
Yeah, actually.
It's my womb.
Everything is in it. And it's like he comes out of the chest, like the skin makes the face. Yeah. Now it's not like something laying on it. It's like the ectoplasm comes out of the skin, and then there's the face.
So that's another point I wanted to ask. It also affects your personality. So you have a lot of people who criticize you and say you're a fraud and things like that. So I think it's also needs a strong personality to do this job.
You definitely have to be thick-skinned. So again, going back to my pub, which is my kind of downtime, there are people who find out I'm a physical medium, they see the controversy, and then I've got people who aren't even involved in my spiritual work that will call me a fraud and bring it up. And that's my downtime, and then, especially for them, I'm not even interested in trying to explain to them. But at the same time, yeah, I think I have quite a thick skin. I used to be worse when I was younger, but I think I've got a lot more thick skin and not so bothered by other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It can be tiring at times, but yeah, it doesn't bother me as much now.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Especially since I've given up on trying to prove anything to anyone or try to compete with anyone or even change anyone's mind. If somebody wants to believe they are the next Jesus, then I'm just going to leave them to it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully through the work I do, we'll show them that they're not. They'll come to realise that they're not. All I can do is literally just work for my own team now, and hopefully it will change the movement for the better going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I'm not wasting my time. I don't feel like I am. And I see results happening for other people. If I can do a seance and someone can reconnect with their son who's died, and they've got that healing, then I don't need to worry about the 10 people online who are saying that's not your son that's carrying a mask. And why should I?
Yeah.
Why should I waste my time for those? If that's what they want to believe, then by all means. Hopefully one day they'll turn around and go, oh, it wasn't. Or the spirit team were able to prove to them that it wasn't.
Yeah.
But why am I wasting my time worrying about them when I can worry about the person who has reconnected with their son? And why should I let my mediumship stop because of those 10 haters that don't know me when that one person has got the thing they've been looking for years? And just because I didn't let the haters.
Try again. Okay, so let's go. What date is today? Second sitting.
This depends on who's in the room.
Ich hatte ja 18 Grad gemacht, du hast extra wieder 17 runter. Ne?
What could I find? What could I find in these dark pictures?
And then we start again.
Do-do-do.
Today is the 20th, the first sitting of day 4. Is it day 4 today?
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
I don't know why that's so tight.
There you go.
When the body swells up, they're often after really tight.
Mhm.
It's 47 minutes.
30 minutes.
Oh, your mum's
Yeah.
on for 47. That's it, kids.
Another day in the camp.
Another day in the camp. So you didn't get anything out of the blue and purple and red light? The very first time we opened the cabinet.
Yeah, there was nothing to be seen. It was just Gary sitting in the cabinet.
Oh, yeah. Nothing at all. Pretty please, we say. Pretty please. I definitely think she'll get it back. I don't think it's gone anywhere.
Yeah.
One dip there. See?
Yeah, they put both zippers together and I can't undo them now. Can I cut it?
So what happened now with you? Where are you? What
Oh.
are you doing?
This was like this, and that was like this.
Oh, look. So this one. Look.
So they used this cable tie to close
close
the
these.
zippers.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that hurts you now a bit. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Don't think about this.
I find this even harder than the scissors. But yeah, can you get your leg out? Arm out? Yeah.
Oh, me back.
But so they pulled it over,
Over
and
to
then,
the side.
and
oh.
then I don't know. They just shuffled his feet under his hand underneath or something. Ah well, it's
Ach
okay.
so.
Ach so.
What is Monte?
Ready.
Oh, there we see something.
I
You know that guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, he's
Oh,
smiling.
there's a face.
Face.
Yes.
You see a face.
Woo.
Oh,
Nice.
hang on.
That's very nice.
What is that?
That's like forming.
They're forming the face step by step. It's hard to see on that little screen.
Yes, you have to see it on the.
Oh, that's
figure.
interesting.
Yes.
What's happened?
Is that my fat?
Yeah, that's the cheese. Raclette cheese.
Yeah, like
That cheese.
When
Ah, and there's another form.
the cheese you ate is coming out of your belly.
It looks like it. It looks like I'm about to give birth.
Yes. Interesting. I think that.
It is not so chubby.
Yeah, we should take it back.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
That looks good.
Oh.
He's smiling.
Like smiling, huh?
He goes, I got out.
His face looks a little bit different.
I think we
Yeah.
should. Super!
Let's say you're 80 and you look back on your life. So, what would you really like to have achieved? Is not the right word, maybe. What would really make you happy when you look back and you say, "Oh, that was worth doing it."
When I make you look back, if I make it to 80, did I have fun? That'd be my only thing. Did I have fun?
Okay. Yeah.
So I do lots of projects. You know, like I got a pub at the moment. The pub fails. The pub fails. But if I never did the pub, that would bother me a lot more.
Okay.
If I look back and think, what would that have been like? Would that have been fun? Would I have had adventure? Even if it didn't work out. Worst case scenario, I go bankrupt and I just start again, pick up. But at least I've had the chance to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose the same with my physical. If I actually gave it to the haters, I know that years later I'd be looking back going, if I had only just sat and just worked through it, how different would things be now?
Okay. Yeah. Sounds very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was really good, Gary. I'm really so good.
Proud of you. You did so well.
Thank you.
So hopefully it's
Hopefully we got it on.
it was
We got to hit record.
I used to fear the unknown. Shadows in the night. Now I stand here
Yeah, I don't like when